Yes, student, this is fourth chapter of the book Flamingo, the Rat Trap, NCERT 12th class. Actually, the students, this story is inspiring as well as very spiritual story. This story tells us that the essential goodness available in the mind in the character of a person can be awakened through understanding and love. Whatever the story is telling us, this is telling us in the manner of fairy tale. It shows that how much the greed of a person can prove evil to the life of the person. Here, one rat trap peddler gets victim of a greed, and we will see how the life of the peddler becomes very pitiable for him. Let us start. Introduction of the story. The rat trap peddler resorted to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. As I told you that the main character of the story is a rat trap peddler, and he resorted both begging and petty thievery to keep his body and soul together, because you know that selling rat trap was not a very profitable business, so he started begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. When thinking about rat trap, when one day he was thinking about rat trap, he got struck with an idea. An idea came in his mind, and he started thinking that the whole world with its land, nothing but a big rat trap. And he started thinking that this whole world is also a big trap, because all the people are trapped in this for different reasons. While going somewhere, he found a house, and it was a lone house in that locality, in that area. That house was Crofter house. That's why I have written in Crofter house. What happened in Crofter's house? The peddler asked shelter for night at Crofter house. The peddler knocked the door of the Crofter house and asked shelter for that particular night, so that the crofter who was living alone in his house also welcomed the peddler. The same I have written. Now the question is why he welcomed, because he was living alone in his house. He not only welcomed him, but crofter also played cards with him and offered tobacco roll and supper. And in morning, the crofter checked his 3 wrinkled 10-kroner bills. Don't know what happened to him when the crofter was leaving his house in morning to milk his cow and to go to his field. Don't know what happened. He put out 3 wrinkled 10-kroner from a leather bag and again put them in that leather bag, in a leather bag. And the leather bag was hanging close to the window. It was a window, and the bag was hanging close to the window. And got ready to go to milk his cow and went away to milk his cow. The peddler also left the house same time, because it was obvious when the owner of the house was leaving, it is compulsory for the guest to leave the house. Same way, the peddler also left the house when crofter got ready to leave his house to milk his cow and to go to his field. But after some time, it was the peddler who returned back the house. And smashing the window pane, and as soon as he returned, he smashed the window pane and took money and went away. From where he took money? He took money from the leather bag that was hanging close to the window. He took the way of forest instead of highway because of the fear of the police. When he was going on the highway, suddenly a fear came in his mind, and it was the fear of the police, and he was thinking that maybe the crofter has reported to the police for the stealing. So instead of taking the path of highway, he decided to take the path of forest. Now he is going through the forest. Now what happened in the forest? In the forest, he failed to keep his way in the right direction. In the forest, you know that it was a dense forest, and he failed to keep his way in the right direction and kept walking around in a patch, and continuously was walking around in a patch of forest, getting exhausted. And when whole the day he was walking continuously at a particular patch of the forest and was not able to come out of the forest, he got exhausted. That's why getting exhausted, he fell down, and he fell down. He heard the thumping sound. When he fell down, he was able to hear the sound that was coming through the land, and he heard a thumping sound and started going toward that thumping sound. It was an iron, and when he went there from where the thumping sound was coming, he found it was an iron mill. In the mill, the workers did not ask him who he was. The workers were working in the mill, and they did not ask who he was. And the paddler sat in front of the furnace to keep himself warm, and he easily sat in front of the furnace to keep his body warm. What happened in the mill? The iron master came frequently, taking rounds of inspection to check the working of workers during night shifts. It was the routine work of the iron master to come to his mill to check the working of the workers during the night shifts. The same way, during that night, the iron master also came to check the working. So during one such round, the iron master saw the paddler in dim light of furnace and mistakenly recognized him as old regimental comrade. During such round, when the iron master came to see the working of the workers, he found the paddler sitting in front of the furnace, and in the dim light of the furnace, he mistakenly recognized him, his old regimental comrade, and expressed sympathy on his pitiable condition and requested to come to his house. And the iron master requested the paddler, because now he was no more a paddler, iron master thinking him his old regimental comrade. That's why the iron master requested him to come to his house. But you can see here, but the paddler no more wanted to go towards the deep end of the rat trap. Here means now the paddler did not want to go toward the deep end of the rat trap, because he was thinking he is already trapped. And due to this trap, because he stole those 10 kroners, and due to that he is in these pitiable conditions, and he no more wanted to make his condition worse. That's why he did not want to go toward the deep end of the rat trap and refused his request. Now the question may come that why the paddler refused the request of the iron master and did not go to iron master house. So that is the reason that he no more wanted to go toward the deep end of the rat trap. He was already in the trap, and he had already made his condition very pitiable. Now, Adla's skill of persuasion. A student, after the iron master failed to persuade the paddler, it was the iron master daughter. Means iron master sent his daughter for the persuasion. After the iron master, it was his daughter Adla who came to persuade him. It was the daughter, iron master daughter named Adla, who came to persuade the paddler to come to their house. Adla was very skillful, and he had the skill of persuasion, and that's why when he requested in a friendly manner, the paddler, filled with confidence related to his safety, and he accepted her request to celebrate Christmas with them. It was the result of the skill of Adla's persuasion that he could not say no to Adla and got ready to go to their house, and also accepted the request to celebrate Christmas at their house. Now, Last in Iron Master house. Then what happened in my Iron Master house? At breakfast, next morning at breakfast, the Iron Master saw the peddler face in daylight and remorsed of his mistake of considering his old regimental comrade. Now next morning, it was the time of the breakfast when the Iron Master saw the face of the peddler in daylight and started remorsing himself that why he did such kind of mistake of considering this man, this peddler, as his old regimental comrade. He was remorsing himself that why he did such kind of mistake considering this person as his friend. And he decided to hand him over to the police. And at once he decided that he will hand over this person to the police. But here it was Adla who protested her father. It was Adla who protested her father, saying she promised him, because she was saying that she had already made a promise to celebrate Christmas with them. Because Adla said that they cannot hand him over to the police because she has already made a promise with this peddler to celebrate Christmas here. And if they call the police, it means they are putting the safety of that peddler in danger. So they must not call the police, and she requested her father to do so. The father surrendered to the logics given by the daughter, and both went to the father got very satisfied with the logic that was given to him by the daughter, and now he was satisfied, and both father and daughter went to the church to offer their prayer of Christmas, leaving the peddler at their house. In the absence of daughter and father, the peddler went away from their house, and when both father and daughter were absent, it was the peddler who left the house leaving a box. When father and daughter came, with surprise, the daughter opened the box and found those 3 10 kroners. What is this? It means that the peddler, considering those 3 10 kroners responsible for all kind of evils, for all kind of problems he was facing in his life. Before stealing those 3 10 kroners, his life was complete. He was completely free. He was completely independent, and he has no any kind of problem. He has no need to escape himself from the police or other people. These 3 10 kroners were completely responsible to put his life in danger. That's why he left those 3 10 kroners and went away, because he wanted his life free again as he was living his life earlier. Understood, bachcho? Later on we will discuss questions based on this chapter, and you can see those questions in my next video. If you